The storm caused by U.S. President Donald Trump's social media messages rages on. Last Tuesday, Trump, who stated he found it right for French President Emmanuel Macron to step back on the fuel hike, and in the same message blurted out that the French were not obliged to pay the price of global environmental pollution caused by other countries through fuel prices. In the following message, even though he demanded clean air and water for the U.S. by pointing out that U.S. taxpayers and workers do not have to pay for the pollution of other countries, he actually stated that he does not want the price of 1 gallon, 4 liters, of gasoline in the U.S. to reach $3. In addition to this, on Wednesday, he said that he hoped the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, would not increase oil prices and that the world does not want to see a high oil price. The analysis of the elections over the last 45 years shows that every price hike of gasoline that disturbs U.S. citizens leads to the president and party in the White House losing elections. This is why Trump is bothered by both Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's MBS, with whom he currently has tension due to the Jamal Khashoggi murder, steps toward increasing the oil prices, and Russian President Putin's support for MBS. Indeed, let's note that he got a hard reply from Russian Energy Minister Alexander Novak on Thursday, who said, meetings will not be directed by political statements via Twitter, the first of the last 3 incidences. That Trump, despite having announced a 90-day ceasefire for the trade war with Chinese President Xi Jinping at the G20 summit in Argentina, said they were determined to overthrow the CAR on Wednesday, in November 5 by sending 6 hefty social media messages. The second event is the news that Meng Wanzhou, the daughter of Huawei's founder Ren Zhengfei and the company's CFO, was arrested in Canada following allegations that the U.S. embargo on Iran was disrupted, and Trump's messages on the situation. The last element is European Commission Vice President Dombrovskis's statement that they are accelerating their efforts toward using euro to price global products of energy, raw materials, agricultural products, commodities and aircraft production. The trade war's fever is going up and it is getting more severe. The G20 and Europe's Soros negligence. A recent G20 leaders summit hosted by Argentina did not pass the test for human values. MBS's, who was heavily implicated in the murder of Khashoggi, participation in the meeting and the fact that some leaders interacted with him caused a great deal of discontent on a global scale, especially Russian President Vladimir Putin's very warm greeting of the Crown Prince at the beginning of the summit, which took Russian journalists by surprise. The meeting of Xi and the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, were also found to be strange. French President Emmanuel Macron's warnings to MBS during their on-the-run conversation and the Crown Prince's response also aroused curiosity. The transformation of the G20 platform into an operation to recover the Saudi Crown Prince's respectability, due to the collective hypocrisy of some politicians and for the sake of oil and economic interests, on the other hand, undermined the reputation of the G20 platform. At the Foundation for Political, Economic and Social Research, SETA, during a panel where we put the successes and frustrations of the G20 on the table, under the moderation of Dr. Sarif Dilek and with Professor Kagri Erhan and Associate Drive. Nurullah Kagri Erhan reminded the audience that if the G20 is not given a secretariat based in Turkey, Istanbul, the biggest disappointment would occur with the global solutions the leaders agreed on during the G20 summit becoming obsolete. The weight of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's civilization diplomacy, demonstrated with his leadership and vision, has rendered him the leader that had the deepest and the most number of talks with his counterparts during the summit. Undoubtedly, the meaning of Argentina's, the most disturbed country from the capitalist system's wild wheels and the global interest clamp, addition of not only sustainable, but fair, development to this year's Leaders Summit was also examined. During the summit, the extent of the street incidents of the Yellow Vests, primarily in France, and in Belgium and the Netherlands, was also high on the agenda. Western Europe, which remained silent to the operation of disseminating the post-capitalist and neoliberal movement started in 2000 in Serbia with the bulldozer revolution, is now carried out through George Soros' Open Society Foundation under the control of the US-based government private sector non-governmental organization, NGO, Triangle in Central and Eastern Europe, the Caucasus and the Central Asian Turkic republics for the benefit of the US. As France mentioned the words, European army, has witnessed that the operations they kept still about came right back to them like a boomerang. Follow closely the strong reaction against the Soros operation, which decided to withdraw due to its complete uncovering in Turkey, Ukraine, Hungary and Macedonia, and let's grasp again what Turkey has succeeded with under Erdogan's leadership.